Welcome to Love Island Games Recap Season 2, Episode 14. This entire episode was Duel. The Power Squad and the Duel. We end with the Power Squad, Gabby, Johnny, Isaiah, Lucinda, Ty, Toby, Andrea in the bedroom having to decide two Islanders from the vulnerable couples, four Islanders, two boys, two girls, to duel against each other the next day, knowing whoever loses is going to be dumped from the villa. Johnny says if we have to kind of pick a target and put them against someone we think will beat them or who can be, whatever. So they go over the girls first. Kind of note, Andrea was talking about, well, Justine is strong and keeping a note on you. You're trying to get my girl Justine. Yes, she's strong, but not too much on Justine. Lucinda thinks Garby is a bigger threat than Justine. What's up with Lucinda's beef with Garby? Her and Kendall are BFFs or whatever. And yeah, they had the whole problem with that bird, stupid, that horrible challenge I've gone over. But Lucinda, why are you up? I'm watching Lucinda. That's what I'm gonna say. The boys, they're thinking right away. Kendall and Josh. Andrea's not, of course. She's like, it F's both my game, and also like romantically, but like in the games, like that's my guy, whatever. Gabby's like Casey and Kendall are more fair, yes, but the kind of boys are like Johnny says, like yeah, but if Kendall beats Casey and we send Casey home, then it's like Casey's not a threat. Like why would we go for him? We don't necessarily see who they pick, but then they get a text saying you must now mark your target with a kiss. Like leave the bedroom, go mark your target with a kiss, which is crazy. As I said yesterday, some biblical stuff, some real biblical like ugh. So they all kind of leave the bedroom slyly, like they don't tell everyone like what they were doing, and they're just like everyone kind of goes out in different phases. And Toby kisses Garby on the forehead. Johnny kisses Nicola on the side of the head. Again, they don't know what's going on. They're just getting like little, like friendly little pecks, whatever. Lucinda kisses Josh on both of his cheeks. Gabby kisses Kendall on the cheek. So they all did it very slyly. So we know that the duel was Garby and Nicola, Josh and Kendall. Seemingly from that, Ty is being true to his word and like not throwing Justine like to the wolves because this whole thing before and I don't know. And the thing is too, like I said, I'm keeping note of Andrea talking about, well, Justine is strong. Maybe we could, whatever. Because like if Ty would have said, yeah, Justine is strong, like let's just let her go. Because she is strong. She's a two-time winner. She's she's an active person, things like that. She's very competitive. So it's true. But like Ty seemingly was able to like, if that was more people were on it, like if he would have given the green light, they probably would have gotten behind it. So our girl Justine is safe. Very happy about that. Andre is the only person in that whole group whose like partner wasn't safe. The only people who were single in that group, technically, like their partners in another group, is Andrea, Ty, and Tyreek. Ty and Toby. Justine and Sydney are safe, and then Josh is obviously the one picked, so Andre is the only one who wasn't able to outnumbered, whatever. And on the other side, Nicola and Casey, Garby, and Kendall are the only ones that don't have someone on the other side to advocate for them. So like clearly it paid off for Justine and Sydney being able to have those Justine especially. I think Sydney's less of a threat, but like Justine especially probably. And so no one knows what's going on. Obviously they all got the kiss of death essentially. And Sydney's in bed to Toby. She's like, do you think there's gonna be a duel tomorrow? Like as she's falling asleep and they can't say anything. So it's kind of just like, we'll see. The next day they all get a text saying go to the fire pit and they basically reveal everything that happened. And they said like, yeah, they marked it with the kiss. And everyone's like, wait, who got kissed last night? And then suddenly Garby like scans tonight and she's like, Toby, you F! And like gets up and actually made me laugh. She's like, I can't believe this. Like I just dueled. And now you want me to duel again? Like, and she's upset about it, but like kind of in a funny way, at least to me. I was taking it as like, yikes, this is, and she has to duel Nicola. And Kendall asks like, hey, why'd you pick me and Josh? And Ty says, well, there's a clear divide, and like if we figured you can just fight each other and then we'll get rid of one of you. And Josh talking to Isaiah a little later, like right after, and is like, Isaiah's like, I don't want you to go out like in a game sense. I don't want to go against you or Johnny. Like that's just asking to be third place. And Ty, Toby, and Tyreek are Ty, Toby, and Tariq are watching this conversation. They're like, why is Zay talking to Josh and Kendall? Like, is he trying to play both sides, whatever? And Isaiah's talking to them like, I'm kind of more of a middle person. Like, I don't really want to, but he's thinking as well, like, that might be messing up my game by, like he says in his VT, by maybe straddling both sides because that's going to not be good for me in the end. Andrea and Josh talk, and she's like, I'm not sure if you noticed my shift in energy last night, but I had this information and I couldn't tell you, but I was outnumbered. There's nothing I could do. Like, but obviously she couldn't say anything. We get to the duel. Essentially, the duel is 5 balls of varying weights. Like like heavy balls, whatever. And in each round, you have 45 seconds to get as many balls as you can on the opponent's side of the ring, and get as few as you can on your side. So the Islander with the fewest balls after the 45 seconds wins, and it's best of three. So right at the gate, we go Nicola and Garby. Right at the gate, Garby wins kind of easily because she jumps essentially to the balls in the front, pushes them all over to Nicola's side. So while Nicola is trying to get the balls, and they're seemingly heavy because the girls are struggling a little bit to lift it or like actually throw it over. While Nicola's grabbing her ball to like try to get it over there, Garby's just picking it up and throwing it right back. So you kind of right away realize like it's how you start is very important, because she was able to kind of play, was it like defense the whole time, because Nicola's trying to catch up to get all these balls off of her side, and Garby just was able to throw them all the way over, throw them far, that way they're not up against the wall. Second round, it's more tight. Like Nicola obviously realized that that's what was happening, so she was able to get like two balls on Garby's side. Garby had three balls on Nicola's side. They're kind of just going back and forth, back and forth. As the whole thing's going on, they're just like throwing the balls around. Garby throws a ball and it hits Nicola in the face, and Nicola falls, and the medics come out and check on her. And obviously Garby's like, wait, what did I do? What did I do? Like, obviously she had no idea what happened. Everyone's just throwing the balls around. They weren't wearing helmets. There was no like anything. It was just kind of like you're in your like bikini top or whatever, and the spandex type shorts and whatever. Switches to nighttime. They were in the day, now it's nighttime, and we're back in front of the ring. Everyone's there but Nicola. Ariana's kind of saying what happened, and hears from Garby, and Garby's like, yeah, I had no idea. Like I just saw her on the ground, and I was like, oh my gosh, she like ran over or whatever. Ariana reports that Nicola's feeling much better, and also when she was on the ground with the medics in the daytime, like when she was like, I want to keep competing, like I'm fine, whatever, but Ariana says she would not be able to continue the duel, so we're going to go with essentially the previous rounds. So Garby wins by default. Apparently they didn't get to say goodbye to Nicola at all, because she just wasn't there. Probably went to the hospital to get like a concussion check, just like a full check. Sad though, like you're not able to. This is twice now that someone's, like, because of a medical reason, had to pull out of a duel. Chris obviously first, and then Nicola. So they weren't able to have a full fight. That's how it goes. But I will say, the way they phrased it, Ariana, this is the same with Chris. Like, we have to look back at the results of the previous duels, and Garby won that first duel. But I wonder if Nicola won the first duel, does Garby get dumped even though Nicola's out, like in a sense, or is it like Garby gets dumped and Nicola comes back the next day or something? Like, I wonder how that exactly works, like in terms of, because if Nicola was up 1-0, what do you do in that situation? Anyway, so Garby advances. Next, we move to Josh and Kendall. I will say the boys' balls were bigger and / heavier, which I kind of realized right away, because they were also struggling a little bit to lift the balls up and get them over. And I was like, okay, surely if Garby and Nicola were struggling but were able to get these balls across, surely Kendall and Josh could get the balls over. Josh especially, it feels like he's kind of strong too, seemingly, but Josh he's like a fitness instructor or whatever. So like I was right away, I was like, the balls are heavier, aren't they? And then I actually saw them. I was like, yeah, they're heavier. I mean, bigger. Josh wins round one, kind of does like the same thing Garby did. He literally like jumped from a squat, very smart, did a full jump to the front of the wall where they had the balls, pushed them all over, got them all on Kendall's side, and essentially Kendall was throwing balls, Josh was just catching them before they even hit the ground and chucked them right back. So from like the beginning and like after that round finished, I forget who said, I think it was Garby, like the beginning really determines how the round is going to go. Like you really have to try to get it right away if you can. Round two, they go back and forth. They basically go back and forth over one ball. There's 5 balls in total. They each have 2 like in their corners, and there's just one ball they're throwing back and forth, like maybe the heaviest ball. They're just throwing back and forth, but like they're blocking it. They're trying to do what they can to like not get it on their side. At the last second, Josh throws it and falls essentially right past Kendall, and the buzzer rings, and then Josh wins in the 2 rounds. And Kendall right away is just like, dang, upset, whatever. And let me say something quickly about Josh. Josh in that like the little sweat vibe situation. There was a camera shot before the second round going over his back, his muscly back, a little sweat, going to see Kendall in the camera. I was just like, ooh, that was popping. Sorry, but it was. They asked Kendall like how he's feeling. He's like, I'm feeling pretty emotional. I can't even look at Garby in the face. And like he didn't cry, but he was just like, damn, like we were swearing. He was like, whatever. I'm disappointed in myself, like those kind of things. And he was saying I had a special experience in my season and I wanted to come and prove I'm a competitor. Yada, yada, whatever. Lucinda was boohoo crying. I'm like, baby, you put him up. Now, I'm not saying you were the only, like, you put him up, though. You, huh? Boohoo crying. And the thing is, too, I saw someone tweet, Kendall gave Lucinda a longer hug than Garby. Like, well, there goes my sympathy. No, but actually, and again, too, Lucinda was gunning for my girl Garby to be in the duel. Garby came out on top, but he was hugging all up on, I mean, him and Kendall and Lucinda were hugging. And again, I know they're close and friends in that, but what's happening with Garby? Anyways, like I said, they weren't able to say goodbye to Nicholas, so that's sad. But on the bright side of things, now that Kendall's gone, this is why I wanted Garby can find someone else. Maybe I think there's only like a week and a half left of the show though, because they said it was like a 3-week show, and this aired what, the 16th of September. So it's been a week and a half already. So there's like a week and a half left. So how quickly will she be able to find someone? Like I need someone who's like her person to a T to come up in there, and that would be lovely. Obviously, she needs someone to compete with, but also if she could have a little bit of a love connection, we're here for it. We'll see what happens. No episode tomorrow because it is Wednesday, but we will be back the week after that. Yeah. All right. See ya. Or it's been more than a week and a half, hasn't it? I'm over here like looking at my calendar. Sorry, I'm like, I said goodbye, but now I'm still going. Oh yeah, it's been 2 weeks already. See, exactly. I knew it was off. It's the 30th today. So it's been 2 weeks, and we have a week left. We're probably going to end mid-October then. Not first week of October. Anyways, I'm still going on. See you guys Thursday.